Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Pastor Dave Beaver, and welcome to this week's teaching here at Lead Strong. So glad that you're taking a moment to join us here today. Let me talk to you just for a few moments tonight as I'm sitting out here on the back deck at my house, enjoying this beautiful summer evening. And let me just take just a few moments and talk to you about what I believe is the seen and unseen successes in ministry and in life. You see, sometimes in America, we tend to see something as successful based on the results that we can see. For example, if a church is 1,000 and it goes to 2,000, some would say that's successful. If a church is 50 and it goes to 150, people may say that's successful. But see, I believe when we are faithful to God, no matter what we deem as mankind as success or failure, I believe that God has a sovereign plan that He is using and working in and through His church all around the world. And sometimes the results are unseen in terms of what man believes is success. Let me give you an example. If there was a church that had 120 people, but this next year that church grew by 7 people. That's it. If it just grew by 7 people, but if it was one of those people that was to come to know the Lord, that their life was so radically changed and so radically transformed that it literally would change the course of history for their entire family for the next 3 generations. Think about that. I mean, let's just say one person gave their life to Christ, and because they gave their life to Christ, it would change the next 3 generations. Well, the fact is, you and myself, we would never see that. It would be unseen success because we tend to only look at the here and now. We look at what's right in front of our face, and we say, this is successful because I can count it. I can measure it. I can look where it was and where it's at now. And there's some truth to that. Let me say this. I want to encourage you, we need to grow as churches. We need to win the lost. We need to reach people. We need to be the church. We need to be kind and compassionate. We need to be generous. And we really need to live out in our actions our faith. But I want us to be very, very clear that just because numbers and dollars show up does not mean that that's the greatest success. Just because we can see it and we can watch it unfold doesn't mean that it's always everything that God's doing. The truth is, think of this right now in your church. Maybe your church has only grown by a few people this year. Pastor, don't be discouraged by that. Be encouraged, because it might be that one life that is changed that could change the next 30 years or 40 years or the next 3 generations in that family or in that person's life. You may never see the end result, but God Almighty, who is sovereign, is a God who ensures success within His church. Hey, the reality is, you and myself need to be found faithful to God today and understand there is the seen and unseen successes in ministry. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you next week, and remember, till then, lead strong.